Hello, Jaime back with Inky&Scrappy for my Let's Start Stamping series and my Get Creepy on Halloween. So we're going to be a day early this week. I skipped last week. I did one. I didn't edit it. It didn't go very well. So we're going to remake that card. It's already out the door to the recipient. I might take the footage, edit it, and give you a voiced over version of it. It just wasn't working very well for me today. That day. Anyways, I've been busy. I've been working on stuff, just not camera stuff. I haven't been into editing and doing voiceovers. I'm so sorry. Maybe I'll get back to it eventually here. It's just, I think I just need a break. So we took a break last week. Not really, but I just decided not to post, and we're going from there. We're going to do a joy. We're still working on our fun folds. I've been enjoying the fun folds. I hope you guys are enjoying the fun folds. Let me know in the comments below. I can keep finding fun folds to do. There's a few more that I would like to do that require at least a die cutter for part of it. I haven't decided if I'm going to do them in this series or not yet. But it's also Get Creepy on Halloween time. So the last day of the month, every month, I do a Halloween part. Halloween is where I find my, I don't know, I just enjoy it. I don't have to, I take out all the stops. I usually don't have to, I don't have to do it live, so it's not a big thing I can put and then go back to it and whatever. But since I'm running behind this month, I am going to do it on camera with voice in it, not doing a voiceover version. I don't do this very often, but it is one of my favorite holidays to create for. So this is what a joyfold is. Sorry, I have it upside down. So it's basically having a mini card on top of your card base, and then it just folds. I like the look of them. If you don't want to do a joyfold, you don't have to. Think of this as layering and layering your cuts, right? So you can definitely, if you look at this card just like this, you won't know that it's a joyfold. You can just see the layers with the mats. And this could be your card front with your image or your sentiment on there. And then it could open up this way or that way. And you wouldn't need to do anything. You wouldn't need to do the extras, right? So this one flops open. This one flops open. This is where my sentiment will be on this one. Sometimes you can do a joyfold and you can do a sentiment or an image here. You can have something else popping in here, and you could definitely have another image here, and then your card actually opens up. You have lots of options, right? So this one is considered a joyfold. It's not one that I utilize a whole lot, but it is kind of fun. Kind of similar to our accordion one, except for this piece here would pop open and you wouldn't have this. You can do a Zoe fold, which is a craft roulette thing, I think, where they do this, just one of these, and then this would be connected. Don't ask, I don't know. Anyways, but you get the idea. You could definitely, it's very similar to this one layout style wise. Don't feel you need to do too much. I love it because it uses a lot of pattern paper, and if I have anything, it's a lot of pattern paper. So it kind of gets you to use a little bit more of that. So to start, I decided I've been doing these kind of the other way, like this way and not this way. So this one I decided, I'll go this way with it. So I'm starting with a 5.5 by 7 sheet of paper. I just picked that because I decided that's the size I was going for my folds for this one. So I'm going to score that at 4 1/4. So it's going to be a regular A2 size card, nothing fancy there. So we're going to keep in mind that we are at 1 inch, 2 inches, so 2 3/4 of an inch is what my measurement is here. I'm going to need that later. Should I write it down? Probably. Let's find this piece of scratch paper. That one's got a naughty word on it. Okay. So this one is at 2 3/4 of an inch wide, and then of course by 5.5 tall. This is going to help me when I do my mats later on. It's been one of those, you know, like weeks, months. It's been. Last week just ended up being a lot more than I was prepared for. Does that make sense? We just ended up with a lot of things to do. So my plan for this one, I got myself a new t-shirt when we went to Chicago in July, and it's got a skull on it with a cowboy hat and a bandana. And so I think that's what we're going to do. I have the cowboy hat and the bandana. These are stupid old Sizzix doll cowboy accessories. So I think that's what I'm going to do for my, I don't think I have a newer one that has more, you know, detail to it. Oh, maybe I do. So I have some other options. So if this one doesn't fit on here, I know I have the cowboy hat, but I don't know if I have another necktie thingy. So, or, the hanky that ties around the neck. So I'm hoping he fits on, this is the one that I think is going to fit the best. So I'm going to use the Life of the Purdy one. But I have options there. You know, I pulled out some Halloween things. Ultimately, I don't think I need it to be this big. So let's cut this one down to, if I go 5, that will be folded in half is 2.5 inches. Yeah, let's do 5.5. And then I'm going to go 4 inches tall on this one. So I'm going to write this one. So I did 5 inches tall by, I did 4, so it'll be 2 inches. No, 5 inches by 4 inches. Yeah, this one will be 2.5. Oh no, 2 3/4. That's what I said. My math skills. I forgot I did 5.5. So 5.5 by 4 inches, and then that one is scored at 2 3/4 of an inch. That will help me with my mats for later on. Okay, so then this one is going to get put on here. So you don't need to go tuck it in tight. You can definitely, and you're going to have a hard time seeing this one, sorry. You can definitely do this so it's like centered on your background piece. As long as this flap can fold under this flap, you're good to go on your joy fold. It doesn't need to be anything. Well, this one like is not right. The one that I did, that I've already sent, folded directly. So it was like right on the fold here, but it was, I did a 5 by 7. Yeah, maybe, I hope I get it edited and up in the next couple of weeks so you can see it. I think I'm done with this part. Let's go and cut my pattern papers underneath. So I'm using the ScrappyTails Nevermore 6 by 8.5 double-sided paper pad. This one came from the fabulous Miss Amy file because, you know, she knows my love of all things spooky and inky. And, you know, hello, there's print on this one. Yes, please. I think we'll do that one. Obviously, we're going to do, oh man, all the good options. This one I could even just have used for my actual image, like just using that as my image would be perfect. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one down to 5 1/4 inches. Do I want this one? I'm trying to decide where I want this one. I want this one on the background. Let's switch this one out. So let's cut this one at 5 1/4 by 4. That one will fit on this piece here. And then I can go with, not quite wide enough. Do I want options, options, options? Let's do, I'm trying to pick something that's similar but not exactly. I kind of like that one. I mean, I'm all up for the skulls too, but let's cut this one to 5 1/4. And then I said it's 2 3/4, so I'm going to cut this one at 2 1/2. So you could flip or flap. I think I like this one because it's the black tone on tone. And then for this one here, I'm going to go with, we could go, I want to do a lighter tone on this one because I'm going to add the skull on top of it. So this one is 4 inches tall. By 2 3/4. Did I cut it at 4? I did cut it at, well, do I want to cut it at, we'll go 2 1/2. Cut this one down to 3 3/4. So that one should fit, that one should fit. I think we're good there, but yeah, you could totally have done that on the inside. We could do that on the inside. So this one I want to do, let's see if I can do that one. So this one we can cut at 2 1/2. This will go on the inside piece. And this one will cut this one down again, 2 1/2. So it's light enough that I can write on top of it, and I think that'll be okay. Do I have another piece that is? I don't know if it's that. That's wide enough. Okay. So let's get our card base. Oops, I still have scraps here. Not me, causing problems again. I think that one goes. We'll figure it out. I need more caffeine in my life, obviously. I think we're doing with the little skulls up, because most of this is going to get covered anyways. Oh, I could use my crow set from Pink Road would be fun with this one too. That one there. If I was paying attention, I could have done the opposite end here. Nobody's going to know that I put the sentiments upside down, right? Okay. Or the words. I like the little hand just kind of sticking in the corner. I guess I could have done that on the front one instead. Where's my front? Let's flop it. Shh. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Oh. We were talking about Lion King this week. you know, to know who the song stuck in my head. It's what it is. We'll go with this. I like the little skull. Alright. And this one's on. And this one. There should be another one. Could have done cute little bats on this one, would have been cute too. Ooh, the decisions and options, I tell you. Alright. Nevermore. And then we're going to put this one on the front panel. You could definitely go with, I'll probably go with like a smaller layer on top. We'll see. I haven't decided. We also know that I don't particularly care to write in cards, so I never know what to say. It makes me feel awkward. It's weird. I'm weird. It's okay. Anyways, this is the hardest part, putting this one on, right? So I usually just kind of slide it in. And you can do it both ways, right? I know it's going to fit because my flap isn't going to be too over the top. But I really want this one to kind of be centered when it's open like this. So I'm going to add that in here. And then, of course, you can see that it's going to flip. So it's just kind of a little added fun, right? So there we go. I have to switch the battery out because I didn't switch it before I started. I will do some die cutting. I got to figure out my stuff. And then we'll come back and we'll finish the top of this one. Alright, be right back. BRB. Okay, so I die cut those out. I do have a cowboy hat. This is scrapbook.com's like disco cowboy set. I don't know what it's called off the top of my head. More caffeine. It'll help. Okay, I need a stamping block or something. So this one, I'm going to pop that on there. I am going to do this one in, I don't know if I want to do it in black. I kind of want to do it in, if I do it in sand, no, it's probably not gonna. I do morning mist. I was thinking vintage sepia, but then that one's kind of got the black. We could do morning mist. I won't need to stamp it on this paper, but that's what I have out, so that's what I'll use. And we'll just let that sit there. Put that away. I'm just going to do a little bit of brown distress ink. Tea dye maybe? Tea dye might be okay. I'm thinking that's more of a, I would say bamboo from close to my heart, but you guys are going to be like, oh, it's just like a softer brown color. I almost want to say antique linen, but maybe frayed burlap would have been the right color, better color to do. I'm just going to go really light-handed. I actually took off almost all of the ink that I started with. I'm just going to add, I didn't want it stark white. So I'm just going to hand cut this one out close to the line. I don't know if I'm on the line, but close-ish to the line. I love a good red rubber, high detail stamp. They tend to stamp better than the polyphoto or whatever, like the acrylic block ones. The stamp quality's always been better, at least in my opinion. I usually have better luck. Unless I store them and they get all like they're in something tight and like the foam gets deformed, don't ask. I think I have one or two that kind of has, like it has to puff back up or something. Anyways, I'm good with this one. I want to make the eyes a little bit more sinister. Does that sound fair? I don't know if sinister is the right word for it either, but I want them to be darker. Now, I did do my little trick that I showed you the last time with the stuff in there, and this is just a regular black gel pen. But I will tell you this, that it colors a lot better and heavier, and it leaves it looks like it is the big old glossy ones. We can make them a pirate. Good lord, that's like some dark. Well, we could have a pirate cowboy. Okay, that's what we're doing. Screw the other idea. Okay. You see how glorious that is? It's like, well, this one is a glazed one, but I know I've done it with my other black one too, and it just, look at how beautiful and thick that gel is. It's going to take a long time for that to dry. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so I have my cowboy hat here. I think we can squeeze the cowboy hat on his head. The cowboy hat on him. And the little bandana. I want to add some color to those just so they have some depth and dimension there. So for the red, I'm going to come in with a warm gray, I think. That's all we're going to need for this one. Just kind of add some shadowing. Didn't really do a whole lot, did it? Let's go a little bit darker. This is a metallic paper, so it's kind of got a smooth, glossy finish to it. So it works. It works well with alcohol markers. Now, my hat is just regular paper. It's not anything substantial or whatever. So it's just going to suck it up. And it's not going to give me as much playtime, I guess. And I did cut out, so I did find the one from the scrapbook.com one. It's close. It's not exactly right, but I think I'm going to add a little bit of red belting to my hat here. Make it work. Or I can just cut out another piece. I'm going to cut out another hat quick. I just really need that strip in there to kind of give me. Okay, so for this one, this is a Big's die, right? So this is what most of us who've done this for a long time are kind of used to when it comes to, you know, this is what we started with when it came to die cuts. So I am going to, I just put a little bit of tape on the back of here to kind of help line it up. But your sandwich for this one is really just going to be, if you're using a Sizzix style machine, top plate and a bottom plate, that's it. So I usually do it, run it through this way. This is the only way I run through, to me, backwards, right? So I'll run it this way. So the plate, my cut plate, and my actual cutting up instead of down. I know, I think the directions that you're supposed to cut up, but I always cut down, so, except for with the bigs. But ultimately, you know, it gives me that cut that I need. I should have gone a little bit higher up with it, but whatevs. We'll make it work. Do I want? I guess I could follow that one. Kind of sort of. give him a band. So I don't want my band that way, but I want my band this way. I want it the other way. Okay. And since I know that it's just going to follow that little dash mark, I'm just going to put my glue right there. I'll like this one at the top. And you could have definitely, with this, you know, with these, you can definitely do multiple cuts and cut and paste and do all the things. I think we need a little bit of shadow there. I don't know if it's dry yet, but he's getting there. Okay. So we're going to pop him on there. Maybe I should have gone with the other hat. I don't know. He's about the same. I wish I had a better hat. Does that make sense? Yeah. Oh well. Let's do this. That's what I've got. Okay. And we're going to throw this one under there. So just on the underside of his chin, just to leave a tiny bit. And I'll bring my card back in. I want a sentiment on here, don't I? Oh, decisions. Happy Halloween. I'm here for the booze, which would work. My new shirt says Riot Society. Give them hell, I think is what my new shirt says. Something like that. I think we'll go here with this, and then I need to go find a fun sentiment. Okay. I think we're good. I'll go find a sentiment, and I'll come back with it. I haven't decided. Do I want to do a sentiment? Don't I want to do a sentiment? Let's go look. Alright, because I plan everything out perfectly well. Stop laughing. I know you're laughing. Love it. Okay. I'm bringing in Morticia and Modern Romance Volume 2, both from Ink Road Stance. I might have a plethora of Ink Road, and I might have a even bigger plethora of Halloween. But all's good. I like that don't torture yourself. That's my job for this one. You know, pirate, cowboy, it just kind of fit in my mind. So this paper is kind of got that glossy sheen to it. Here's me hoping that I don't mess it up. Sometimes it takes a long time to dry on there. If you have a good archival ink, I would reach for that one. My archival is not very juicy. You can try it. I don't think it's going to work very well. And then I'm going to end up coming in with like a different, no, maybe it's okay. Maybe I re-ink. Archival tends to dry faster, so I don't have to worry about it smudging. It actually stands really good on the first run, so I think I did a second run, but that's the one I'll probably use. It's permanent, waterproof, acid-free, it dries really fast. I do like the distress line of the archival ink from Ranger if they're juicy. When I bought those, I bought a 4-pack and none of them were very juicy. I was very disappointed. I did end up buying the re-inker, and I think I re-inked it a while ago and it's been a lot better. So I don't know if they just like sent old stock and it had dried out. I don't know. It was horrible. I was very unimpressed. But now that it's been re-inked, it works good. But it's good to know that if you're buying the paper that's like, I think Unity's like that. A lot of the smaller stamp company paper has that, it's like a glossier sheen to it. It doesn't suck up the ink very good. And so just know that using an archival on that will dry and you won't have like fingerprint options. Anyways, for this one, let's be honest, my red flags turn you on, you know, because the red scarf, I just thought that was hilarious. So that's where I'm going with this one. And then I'll leave a little bit of room to put a Happy Halloween under there. Or I could put it over there. Either one is an option. We'll go this route. It helps if I pick up the stamp with the stamp platform. Here. Small things. Alright, let's take that one down. Oh, wait. Okay, so there we have our finished. I don't know if I want to put the Halloween sentiment on this one or not. So, don't torture yourself. That's my job. I love that my glossy black gel pen is working well again. I'm not going to touch it with my finger because I'll leave my fingerprints. But this one's fairly simple on the coloring and stuff. But that is the Joy Fold. You can change this one size to whatever you want, as you saw in this one. I also did, so the one that I did the other day had a heart shape. This piece was a heart shape, which is basically just taking a die, folding your piece of paper before you run your die through, and then, do I still have one? That's what I do. Okay, so you take your die, you fold your piece of paper, and then when you line up your die, you make sure that you leave a little bit overhanging, so then you get a card with it. And so just making sure that your fold is on the proper side for where you want it on your card. So for this one, it would go like this. So I think I did it kind of like that on my card front. And so then the heart opened, and then the rest of it opened. So that was, you know, it's a fun, you can definitely do it with circles and those types of things. Just you have multiple options when it comes to the Joy Fold, how to do them, how big you want your piece on there. So really any card design that you have that has like a rectangle or a square or a heart or whatever where your image is going to sit, you can do a Joy Fold with. It's just a matter of doubling this piece so you can fold it in half and put it on there. I love the fact that it uses up a lot of pattern paper. It just, you know, they look beautiful. There's the lines in between because you're doing a mat in there, and so it just kind of works. And then, of course, doing the little insignia there. And you could definitely decorate the inside of this panel. You could put maybe an ink pot with the little pen there, or for the cowboy theme, you know, doing like cowboy boot or something on the inside there. You could definitely do the same here. You could do like a little cowboy boot or a little cowboy hat, or even just another little red scarf die cut and put that in the corner over there, of course, because you know my red flags would definitely work. So you have lots of options with this one. You can also put this one onto a card front or a card face. So you don't necessarily need to write on this piece. This could just be your card front, and then you could open it and have your place to write on the inside for sentiments and or the other things. I think that's it, and I will shut up. And hopefully the coffee kicks in and I can get the video edited and up before Friday. I'm sorry I missed you guys last week. I did miss last week. I really had planned to get it done, and it's just life, man, life. I love life. It's great. Other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing one. I'm gonna say goodbye on this Minnesota goodbye and take a drink of coffee and shut the camera off, because I'll yap all day if you let me. Let's be honest.